Squats. Spiky bits. Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Bear from SpikyBits.com. Today we're going to take a look at Hardcore Miniatures' latest release, squats. No, they're not called squats, but I call them squats because they are painfully average-sized, I guess, Imperial style miniatures that you could play in games like Warhammer 40k. That would be, perfect for the tabletop and such. And the scale is appropriate to what you kind of might expect a space dwarf to look like, space dwarf model, so to speak. They sent us a big box full of these, and we're gonna unbox and build them. I probably dropped the box on the floor, so things are gonna be jumbled a little bit, but just bear with me there. We'll figure it out together, no big deal. So let's jump over to their website, kind of take a look at what they got going on over there, where you can score these things. It's hardcore-miniatures.com, and talk a little bit more about what is happening there. So here it is, hardcore-miniatures.com. You can see all the pertinent contact information. Shipping on a squad of these guys is about $13 US, and it's going to take a couple of weeks. I haven't had any issues. Something got stuck in Germany, our last shipment. It said it was just sitting in Germany. It turns out it jumped into the Quantum Leap accelerator and appeared at my post office, actually in my mailbox. It said it was at my post office, but it appeared in my mailbox like 2 weeks later. So I think it was actually just they didn't scan it out of their system and it was already on its way here. There's been a lot of irregularities with the mail, of course, but all I'm saying is be a little patient with packages, especially ones coming out of Russia, because it's crazy everywhere, and sometimes when you have to come across all those countries, between different styles of governments and things like that, it can get a little weird for sure. But everything came intact until I dropped the package on the floor, which again, sometimes I do dumb things, and it is what it is. So this is the main page right here, and you can see there's a whole section for Space Dwarfs, but I did want to talk about these really cool miniatures that are on pre-order right now. The Space Dwarfs are not on pre-order, and unfortunately the lag of getting things in and talking about it, it's really hard for us to kind of coordinate and be like, yo, go buy these right now because they're super on sale. But maybe we can slide in a little, hey, go buy these right now because they're super on sale. And when they pre-sell the stuff, it's like really discounted, right? 33%. And these miniatures are just really cool. You'll probably notice, again, Imperial style tabletop wargaming miniatures. This one likes to rock, I suppose, if I had to guess, if I had to make an assumption right there. But there's a whole bunch of different ones on here. Some of them mostly come out at night. Some of them will be back. Some of them, I don't know exactly what they are. I haven't dug too deep into it. I think there's one that kind of might look like someone apt to raid tombs. Maybe not. Maybe that's a machete style miniature right there. But these look really, really cool, and it's always cool to see new releases, especially boutique style resin releases from companies such as Hardcore Miniatures. So here's the Space Dwarfs, right? There's a bunch of different options on here. So you can get the laser gun style, you can get bolt gun style, which I thought was a really cool option. Bear heads here. Now, some of these bear heads, I can already tell, are gonna only fit with certain styles of the rifles or the bolt guns being held, but we'll talk about that more in a minute. There's some different other options here, actually. Oh, respirator heads, which I don't think we got any of. I don't remember seeing. Now, these are all regular price because the sale has already passed. So it's important to kind of stay up, and we do article posts, to let everybody know, hey, this is a good deal. Go check it out. But unfortunately, that window has kind of passed by the time we actually get to put these on video. So it's still cool to talk about these miniatures because they're really high quality, and I haven't found too much that I don't like about them. Now, there's a couple of features and that we're going to talk about assembly-wise that I don't think are the best when it comes to these, but I like how they have the different style options, whether you want like a bolt gun round style, or you want like a las gun, like a carbine. And there's all sorts of pictures in here, so make sure you click on them if you have any questions. They tell you the height to the eyes, the height to the top of the head, which is totally variable about what's heroic scale, what's regular scale. Like, everybody has their own opinion. So I think just having these two different options in millimeters is a really good idea on their part, because again, they're squats. You don't really know, hey, how tall are these guys? I don't want to be too tall. I don't want to be taller than a Primaris. A Primaris, by the way, is about 38 millimeters tall, just so you know. And there's the different styles of these guys. And like I said, some of their beards aren't going to fit. Like some of these big poofy style beards are going to have to go behind something that isn't being aimed down the barrel of the rifle, you know, so to speak. And then they've got assembly instructions right here, so you can always go through and find all that, and then boom, product images. So everything you need to know is generally right here on these pages that you can navigate through. And then there's a single sergeant as well that we're going to talk about today. So that's it. That's where they are. Go check them out for sure over on their website. Now let's dive into the unbox and build portion of this review, and I'll give you my thoughts on that. So here is one of the squads. I think I grabbed the bolt rifle. Yes, definitely the bolt rifle squad right there. They're going to come in a baggie, and as you may have noticed, they are a huge jumble of parts, and I suspect that's because I dropped the box, unfortunately. So I don't really have a whole lot of the idea of what goes with what, but I do know that there are numbers on the feet right there, which supposedly correspond to the parts of the arms and such right inside here. Like that's a 3, so I think we would look, yeah, so there's 2, so you can kind of match things up like that if you are a dummy like me and you know, drop your stuff on the ground, which you really shouldn't do because that stuff probably isn't made for that. But either way, you can tell that, you know, the stuff is very, very well sculpted, and, you know, as far as resin goes and quality of resin, I mean, this is pre-washed. I don't even feel like, I feel like this is just ready for primer right here. There's no grease, there's no odor. I mean, would kill to get something like this from Forge World, like quality wise, ready to go right out of the package for the most part, just a little bit of trimming and you're up and running. Now, one of the things that I noticed was there are a lot of parts here, so don't forget you can go to the site, scroll through the images, and you'll be able to kind of figure out what all the parts, what parts go where. So they have these little backpacks which have the little nubs on them, which I gotta do this upside down. I really like how everything should lock together with these little nubs and everything. And then the shoulder pads, I'm not entirely convinced you need them to go on there quite yet, but we'll probably try some of them just to see how they look. And then there's a bunch of different heads, but remember what I said excuse me, about the heads is you want to be careful, because if you put these rifles and them holding them, you can't have the certain style beards, because it'll like kind of block the two arms kind of going together. But other than that, I think, you know, it's incredibly well detailed with this really cool, I forget what they call this, padded Elysian style, OG Rogue Trader, you know, squat style. I want to say it has something to do with thermal, but I forget exactly. It's only so much room in my brain pan for so much information, and after a while I have to clear my cache, unfortunately. And here's some bedrolls and some pack rolls, and this has definitely seen better days when it comes to being all on the sprue, but like I said, that is my fault. And then here is the Sergeant guy, and I really like the Sergeant guy because it comes with a ton of options, and I'm not sure which way I was going to try to build it, because they show a lot of different ways already on their site. I'm trying to work here, young one. Give me a few minutes. I know the food dish is probably like you might be able to see the bottom like in one area, and that just is a no-go here. What I really like about this is that the arms just slot in, like you don't even really have to glue, which I think is pretty cool. And then you have a couple different options of heads, like this really cool kind of berserker head here, like almost like a Viking style, which is pretty dope. And then just your traditional, like, you know, cap and stuff like that. So depending on which way you want to go, you can really get crazy with it or not. I love this power fist. This is like really harkens back to that old what was it, Sergeant for, this might need to be dug out. Oh no, it fits right on there. The old was it Cadian Sergeant had a similar power fist, something like that. Maybe it was Katchan. I think it was Katchan. And that thing just looks super cool. And then you can have a bolt las rifle, las gun. Ugh, it's too far away. I can't tell if that needs to be drilled out or not drilled out. Nope. Just a big dummy again. So obviously there's some gaps because it's not flush, but you get the idea here. There's lots of different options, and this guy for 15 bucks, you know, after the pre-sale has ended, still seems like a pretty cool deal for a really nice, you know, bespoke custom resin cast mini that's ready to go, ready to assemble right out of the package. You don't have to do much washing or anything like that, and just slap whatever options you want on him, and you're good to go. All right, we're back. Hopefully cats are fed, models are built, things should be good. So here's a built squat model right here, Space Dwarf, whatever. And well, we learned a couple things. Like I was saying, the beard, has to be shorter to kind of be, where is it? Here's the carbine. So, or turn to the side here, so you just got to be kind of careful. And I would definitely check all the instructions on Hardcore Miniatures site. These little pouches are actually separate bits too, and this bedroll is a separate bit, the backpack's a separate bit. There's a lot of separate bits on here, which can be a little tedious, of course, but I feel like it's kind of necessary to get that like kind of three-dimensional vibe to it. And something else we noticed too was that even if you matched up the feet number and like the arm number and stuff, there was a little bit of variance in the tolerances here with the nubs and the sockets and things. So you may just want to shave off the square if it's giving you fits, and just glue it straight on, because these are small enough it's probably okay anyways. But they were definitely a little weird when it came to that. But everything else for the most part went together good. The shoulder pads are all separate. I think they actually look good with the shoulder pads on. They just wouldn't look right if you didn't glue them on there, in my opinion. And then here's the the las guns. Oh, look at that. And then Kitty's upset again. Kitty got problems. It's tough being a small cat in a big cat world, So here's the bolter doing the hold signal here, and then we've got all sorts of cool little dynamic poses, which I think are pretty neat. This particular bit right here with the what is that? It's not a holster, but basically like the strap to kind of hold that on. It was a little difficult too to get on there. It's small and it's kind of fiddly, and it wants to go a certain way. Sometimes working with resin's a little tough. So you can apply a little heat, maybe use some kicker to get it on there, but eventually it will work. I like this model because it's pretty dynamic. Like he's just checking out. He's like, you call that a knife? This is a knife. And then there's the respirator heads right there. This is the sergeant, and I kind of wanted to assemble them differently than what they. Wow, she's really going at it. She's got a tough time. That is literally a cat, tiny cat. Hey, stop it! Trying to work. Nope. Not even a consideration here. So we did the bionic arm with the axe and a cool berserker looking head here, and I love this drum fed. I guess it's a bolter. Definitely not a las pistol or anything like that, but just very cool. You can do a whole bunch of different combinations. There's a Vox, comms guy as well with a little headset, which I thought was pretty neat. And you put all that together with the little hose and everything. That was okay. Some of this was a little tough to get together. You can see the kicker sprayer right there. But overall, they're pretty cool. And then we put, which one was it? Oh, this guy. We put this guy on a 25 mil round and this guy on a 32 mil round, just to give you an idea of how they look on the different base sizes. And then here is a Primaris Marine. So like I was saying, about 38 to the top here, millimeters. So about 4, I think this was 30 to right here. So about 8 more millimeters high, give or take. But I think they're appropriately sized as far as, squats go and stuff, or, the faction formerly known as squats, because for the most part, if you're playing with these guys, they might block line of sight or they might be behind something, but I feel like in Warhammer 40K, at least, the rules kind of aren't that big of a deal right now about these. And, if there's ever any question like, hey, can I see your dude? You can just be like, oh yeah, he's just a little bit taller. Just be respectful about it. Because sometimes at the end of the day, playing with the Count's as miniatures are just really neat, and it's a really cool opportunity to do that. Whereas normally you be playing with something else that might not be as cool, and having a whole army like this and very flavorful indeed at that, I think would be pretty neat. So remember, these are not on sale anymore. They are $55 a squad, and the Sergeant is $15. But if you catch them on their pre-orders, like the Lady miniatures are up on pre-order right now, that's a great time to pick those up because you can get them for a lot less than what you would pay after the fact by the time we actually get to the video. So maybe jumping over there every now and then to check out just what they got going on might not be a bad idea, I suppose, because they kind of run the gamut in designs from, you know, Imperial stuff to orc stuff and kind of a lot of things in between, to be quite honest. So thank you so much for watching this unbox and build of Hardcore Miniatures new Space Dwarfs, aka Squats. It was really fun to get these in and get them all together and kind of talk about them and share them with you guys right there. So definitely check them out, hardcore-miniatures.com, and make sure you hit the subscribe and turn on notifications, of course, so you can be the very first to like and comment on all our future videos.